to be a certain type of person to run into a burning building when everyone is running out. Thank you for spending countless hours at the firehouse. Thank you for waking up in the wee hours of the morning to help save a family whose house burnt into flames. Thank you for saving the life of someone's father who went into cardiac arrest. Thank you for using the jaws of life to extract the woman who was hit head-on. Thank you for being so selfless that you don't even think twice when you run into a burning building. You are the heroes you may not feel like you are, but I can promise you there is a little boy or girl looking up to you. A child who dresses up like a firefighter for Halloween every year and is in awe when a fire truck passes them. Thank you for the fire prevention and education. Thank you for spending your days teaching children and adults why fire safety is so important.
Because my whole family was involved. I'm actually third generation in the Gpotv Fire Department. Been a member for 30 years. Currently an EMT, a lieutenant. I went through the officer's rank before, and I got back in.
Back in high school, my husband, boyfriend at the time, was a firefighter. He was a junior firefighter, worked his way right on up through. And we started dating, and next thing you know, I discovered the firehouse. And found out that it was something that I was good at. I started with my firefighter 1, my EMT, and working my way up through the ranks. Now I'm currently a captain in 832. I'm also a paramedic with the ambulance, and we're very busy. So that was a very easy choice for me. I found out it was a way that I could help the community and give back a little bit.
Community service, helping my fellow members in the fire department and the residents of Greenport. I've always been in community service, right from a Boy Scout to Assistant Scoutmaster, and when I moved back to Greenport in 1977, the first thing I did was apply for membership in the Greenport Fire Department. A few months later, I was in. So this is I'm starting my 41st year right now.
How you doing? I'm Chief Jimenez. Everyone calls me City. I joined the fire department because a good buddy of mine many years ago, he bugged me for about a year. He kept saying, please join, it's a lot of fun. And finally I did. I joined, and I did enjoy it, and I've been here for quite some time now, in a lot of different factions, so it has been a lot of fun.
I've been in the full fire department for 30 years. Prior to that, I was in the junior fire department for, I think, 5, and I've been an EMT for 13 years. Yep, I came over here with my father and my grandfather all the time. They took us out on the trucks when I was little. So it was kind of bred into me at an early age, and I really enjoy doing what I do.
So most memorable call, story, or thing that we've handled. Fire side of the house would have to be, we had a fire right at the beginning of a Washington Day parade. We had, I don't know how many departments show up because everybody was here for the parade. Wound up on the roof with my husband and my father-in-law on the ground screaming at the two of us to get off the roof because he couldn't control the situation. He wasn't happy with the fact that we were both up there at the same time. It was a tough fire. We knocked it down, got control of it with help of many, many departments. Probably the most memorable EMS story, when you actually save somebody. That's got to be one of the best things ever. Actually at work, a gentleman went into cardiac arrest, and with the simple tools that we had, we weren't ALS, advanced life support, we were able to restore a heartbeat. We called for mutual aid and kept the heartbeat, and by the time we got him to the hospital, the gentleman was talking to us. He lived after that, so it was actually considered a save, which was pretty cool. Got an award for it. So yeah, there's numerous. I can't even begin to count how many calls and different things I've been through. That I think the best times I've ever had, or most memorable times, is definitely with my partners in the back of the truck or the crew that I'm working with, because to deal with stress, we laugh about a lot of strange things, which I'm sure everybody does when you're dealing with stress. So that's just a couple of the crazy things that I've been through.
One of my crazy calls I was on, across from the old Soundview, we had a house fire. After fighting it for a while, I went up on the roof, me and another fellow firefighter, and we were gonna vent with a saw. And we were just about to cut the hole in the roof when all of a sudden, we're just about on the peak of the roof. The one side, the opposite side we were on, just rose about 1.5 feet. And then all of a sudden, the whole side of the roof just disappeared. And if there was not a wall in between the two, we could have been there with him. with everything. You know, we would have went right down. Fortunately, it did. You know, there was the wall there. We didn't go down. We got the heck out of there right away. That was one of the most craziest calls I was on.
I would have to say the most interesting call that was recent in memory was the Universalist Church fire in the main road in Southhold a few years ago. We got there with our ladder truck, pulled up even before some of the Southhold fire equipment had responded yet, because it was a quick mutual aid call. We set up in front of the church. There's 3 of us on the truck. I'm setting up the truck while the other 2 guys are getting ready to go up in the bucket. And the front steeple collapsed right in front of us. We had parked far enough away so we were out of the collapse zone, but seeing that church fully inflamed and then seeing the steeple just start to come down into the road. And that was pretty dramatic stuff, I'll say. We're lucky that nobody was hurt. This wasn't a residence, so there was no worry about life safety in the building. There was probably nobody in there, of course, but it was pretty dramatic fire.
My lasting legacy, I would like, because my grandfather was a chief back in the 50s, and he has a very good legacy. Everybody liked him as a chief. I would like to become chief and be able to help the department go forward and, you know, fix any problems that are coming up and try to make this more of a family atmosphere, because the fire department is one big family.
I would just like to be remembered as somebody that was hardworking and fair. And as far as a legacy, just to hope that my training and the way I do things is carried on as long as it works. I like new ideas, of course, and over the years, 40 years, I've had lots of new ideas that have been put on me, and you adapt as you go along.
So what do I want my lasting legacy to be, or what do I want to be known for? Wow. I know over the years I have helped countless people. Some have come back to say thanks, which is kind of nice. I guess the biggest thing is I have a son who's 15 years old, and we've been able to show him quite a bit between his father and I, and his grandfather when he was alive, his great-grandfather, and his grandfather. Showing him around the firehouse, teaching him things, showing him some skills. He's already told me he wants to become an EMT, which I think is fantastic to be able to, and I'm working on becoming an instructor. So for what I'd like to be known for is just being able to do a good job, being able to keep my head level, get in, get out when it counts, make sure everybody leaves safely, and just knowing that I was willing to help people when they needed it the most, I think is the biggest thing.
In the name of love, I wanna thank you. I could say it 1,000 times and it wouldn't be enough. I wanna thank you for everything you do. I wrote a song about you. What would we do without you? We won't forget. And all our lives have been blessed, 'cause you're simply the best. And we thank you. I admire your quest for fire, the one that always burns inside. After all you've been through, you still continue, in memory of the ones that fought and died. So we're thanking you, living a dream come true.